welcome to Sketchbook Revival 2023. My name is Joy, and I am your co-host with Karen this year. And I am just so excited to be able to share with you these wonderful artists who have generously invited us into their studios. And they will be showing us amazing things that you can put to practice in your sketchbook. A great thing about this year is we have a focus, and our topic is all about color. That is something that I am curious about and just can't stop learning about. A reminder for everybody, this is a time for creative play, so there is no right or wrong way to do these sessions. Just be open to what happens and enjoy. All right, so with all that being said, let's get started. I want to welcome an amazing artist, and her name is Alina Smolansky. Hello, Alina, welcome.
Hello, Joy. Thank you so much to invite me, and I greet everyone from Vancouver, British Columbia, and Canada.
Amazing. Thank you. Karen wanted me to share that she discovered NeuroGraphic Art from some of the members of Sketchbook Revival last year. So we're really excited to learn more about this. And Alina is going to tell us more about this type of art, the NeuroGraphic Art. But before we do, I just want to tell you a little bit more about Alina. Alina is an artist and a certified instructor of NeuroGraphica, a form of art that involves mindfulness and intentionality that's both therapeutic and imaginative. She is a full-time instructor of NeuroGraphica and has taught hundreds of students using this method. Currently, she's working on creating a NeuroCircle, which is a community that will support neurographic drawing practice and personal development. You can read more about Alina on her website, which will be linked to this session. Alina's session is called Healing and Dreaming with NeuroGraphic Art. That sounds really exciting, Alina. Before we get creating, can you tell us a little bit more about your session and give us an idea of what we'll be doing?
Again, thank you so much for inviting me and giving me opportunity to share about this method. I'm the right person. Yes, I'm a certified instructor, which means that I completed professional program from the developer of the program itself, Pavel Piskarev. He's PhD in psychology, and he developed this method starting in 2014, and thousands of students completed his program. Not all of them instructors, some of them. It became very popular among Russian-speaking population. So, and I'm lucky enough because I know the language, so I can understand. But my intention was to teach it in English, and also I'm much better in speaking English than feeling more comfortable because I lived for a long time in Canada. So that's probably the right. So if you're completely new to NeuroGraphic Art, as it became known in English-speaking countries, you probably came to the right person. So because I can present it as it's supposed to be. Unfortunately, there are so many tutorials, or fortunately or unfortunately, that show NeuroGraphic Art from people who are not very much familiar with it or didn't complete courses. It's good for popularizing the method because it was considerably simplified comparing to original method of NeuroGraphica, but also it can be maybe too diluted. So, and I will try to explain, so for complete beginners, so you can take it, these main elements from it and apply it in your art, in your sketchbook, journal, or art in general. Harmonizing, I wouldn't say healing, let's say harmonizing your life.
That sounds amazing, Alina. And I'm super excited to get started. So do you want to go to your art table now and we'll get going?
Also, if you want me to, I could mention about colors, so about me, because I'm also an artist and I paint Eastern Orthodox icons. And extempore paintings. So that was part of my life. Color, it was a very big part of my life. And I started my artistic path, not like as an academic drawing, but mostly as an artist working with colors. So, and I will include a little bit about colors also in my presentation about NeuroGraphica. Okay, so yes, we can start now.
All right, great. So we can move on to your art table. I'm really excited to learn. So thank you, Alina.
Hello again, and welcome to my drawing studio. So what, as you can see here, as just simple tools that I use for NeuroGraphica, NeuroGraphic Art. We use markers. Some of them very simple. If you're concerned about tools, it's a very affordable art technique. So if, some markers are just very simple that I buy from a dollar store. Some markers are more, it's a little bit middle range, not completely professional. Pencils. So that's what we use. And I will explain why we prefer not using paint, but you're welcome to use pastel. You can use painting medium like watercolor or gouache as well, or acrylic. Also, I'm an artist, but I use like painting, but I use mostly pencils for NeuroGraphic art. Okay, so how we can start with NeuroGraphic art? So once we know the materials, it's very simple. But before we delve into drawing itself, I would like to explain something very important about the method itself. Well, paper is also just very simple paper. They just, for explanation, I use just copy printer paper. It doesn't have to be professional grade. It's something a little bit like more from a sketchbook, smooth paper. If you draw with markers and pencil, it's preferable smooth paper. Okay, so there are main elements of NeuroGraphica and NeuroGraphic. So, all right, NeuroGraphica, shortened. You can see it, NeuroGraphic Art. If you're more familiar with this one. So with NeuroGraphica, actually, neuro, combine two words, graphica. Graphica, which is neuro, refers to neuron, which are brain cells that are responsible for everything that happens with us. And graphica comes from graphic, which is about visual images, visual art. Specifically, anything to do with line, drawing, engraving. And the graphica, that's in the original language, it means graphic art. So, and it became known as NeuroGraphica, and that method is copyrighted. The word itself and the method itself in many countries. And so, and only instructors that can use many elements of NeuroGraphica. And I call it that I teach NeuroGraphica. So the main element of NeuroGraphica or NeuroGraphic art, we probably will call it NeuroGraphic art for simplicity, is about the line. The main element is the NeuroGraphic line. You have probably seen these NeuroGraphic lines. You may also mention it as a neuroline. It's something like this. Not even with some loops or something. But what's important about drawing the NeuroGraphic line is that it doesn't repeat itself. So it's not just like intuitive free form line, but it has some elements. Of course, if you zoom in, you will see that these elements are straight and they repeat themselves. But let's say for the eyes, if we look at it, the eyes fixed, so there is no pattern. It's unpredictable. So it means that these areas are not equal. They're not similar. And why that's important? Because the goal of NeuroGraphica is to create a new reality, and we're using it to override the existing reality, the stereotypes in our mind. And if we repeat, like, for example, pattern like this, ornament, it's predictable. And it's very relaxing. This rhythm is very relaxing and assuring for the mind. But by doing this, we will just reinforce what we already know on what we're already thinking. And NeuroGraphica, as defined by the developer of the method itself, it's a method of transforming world or reality. I mean, your world, your understanding, your perception of reality. So how we draw this neurographic line? Not just focus. It's a mindfulness technique. It's intuitive and not in one way or the other. And more importantly, that it requires your focus. You can call it meditative practice, because all your attention, especially at the beginning, has to be on the line. So you watch your hand creating micro movements and not repeating the existing pattern. Of course, if you have a direction, like for example, a line like this, straight, and you would like to convert it to the neural line, I just draw with the marker on top. Again, creating this unique pattern. So every neurographic drawing is unique because of this pattern. It's like handwriting. Your lines will be unique. Your drawing will be unique. So this is one of the elements that's important. That's the key element of the method. Even if you do not learn anything else, you need to know that about neurographic line. The line that doesn't repeat itself. There's one more element, but at the beginning, let's talk about it, that it doesn't repeat itself. Yeah. So one more element is the element of rounding, the principle of rounding. So you see one line, and there is another line. And when they cross, they form this intersection, which is sharp. And here I have to explain the rounding. You can also hear that it's referred like a curving, conjoining. So what it is, very simple element, and that when you just make it here, like with a such maybe U shape, soften. And if you want a smoother connection, make a finer marker and just make it nice and smooth. One more line. And again. You see the appearance? So something changed what we do there. When we round the corners, so that why is that important? We're drawing in two-dimensional space. However, the world is three-dimensional, even more three-dimensional, visually three-dimensional. And when we create these draw through lines, we do not know whether they are joined or whether they are in different planes. Like, for example, here, when we look at them like this, but we do not know whether they're separate or whether they intersect. So, and this shows like intersection. This joining, rounding shows that two lines are connected. And connection means if every line represents our impulse or thought, reaction in our brain, we're talking about like neurons when they communicate. The more connection we have, so this indicates that those thoughts connect. And how they connect is when two neurons start communicating. And that's connection, that what ensures understanding our perception of the world and how much we're able to accomplish and how many connections are formed in our brain in relation to a specific topic. Topic also creating a theme or topic intention. It's also one of the most important elements in NeuroGraphica. So when you start drawing, we draw with some intent. For example, if we're drawing today, we call it a theme. But you can refer to it like intention or desire or thinking or topic for your drawing. So there is always a drawing. And for example, even for this short practice, I can say that it's something like intention. Well, let's say having some, I'm working on a new course, so and I would like it to proceed smoothly. So when we have connection, so one is the reason why we create this element rounding is connection. The other one is visual appearance. So we have in NeuroGraphica, we have four elements, graphic elements. One of the line, the other one is circle, triangle, and square. That's what the element. But typically you see the circle, and circle is more important because it represents infinity, perfection, symmetry. You know, when you think about the sun, the moon, and it very much and very deep in our mind, in our brain, ingrained about positive aspects of the circle. The triangle, on the contrary, is also an ancient figure, and we're familiar with it from our world, and it's typically because it has sharp corners. It's mostly about implies some danger, something that we feel uncomfortable. Like, for example, if you see a knife lying on the counter, pointing, it doesn't look very pleasing. Oh, if you have broken glass, you see broken glass and it shatters in many triangles. That's also something disturbing for our imagination, for our mind. So for this reason, to reduce the effect of our sharpness that's always formed when we draw lines and connect them. Here it's formed, the triangle, we round it. So this means that in relation to whatever theme we're talking, all that was associated subconsciously, deep in our subconscious level, we convert from something disturbing, like a triangle, to something positive, like a circle. We do not need to draw a circle here, but the mind, you know, completes and imagine a circle. So it's like the mind always completes a drawing, and what we do, but we don't need to draw it. Rounding. So the next important element of NeuroGraphica, on NeuroGraphic Art, is connecting all the elements. As you can see here, they're separate. They're separate, and I will just include them in the drawing and all these lines by attaching them with the lines. Why? Because lines, those lines, neurographic lines, represent lines of consciousness, and everything is connected. Not on a physical level, but on the level of a conscious level. And I round again. So that connection. So that the three elements that you need to know about NeuroGraphic Art to create your first NeuroGraphic Art drawing and do it correctly. So if we can, so with these elements, if you have, do you have any question, Joy?
I'm just very, very interested in how this whole thing comes together. The rounding, the connection, it's really exciting. So when you're doing this with the square, it's the same thing. You kind of just, you're kind of just making things smooth. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay,
so
great.
with this drawing, like for example, you can see the lines, and I will add the neurographic lines on top of the elements. So there's what also I would like to mention, the straight line is the invention of the human mind. And that's only a conscious mind understand that on the level of our analytical mind. But there are no absolutely straight lines in nature. So if we would like to communicate with nature, so we probably would like to learn its language. And that's why we create this line, an even line that will designed to process, to bypass, like not bypass, but to help us establish connection with our subconscious mind. So we do not know, our analytical mind doesn't know what these lines are saying, but with intention, and if we talk about intention and the language of feelings and emotions, it's where we can communicate. And we reinforce our feelings in relation to our theme with those lines.
Sounds great. Thank you.
So, and with these basic elements, we can start our first neurographic art drawing. Maybe not the first one. I believe that probably many of you practiced them before, tried it, but now we can create something with this knowledge. If you're not familiar with it, now. So I will just replace, well, this is paper for explanation. I will use a little bit better paper, a bit stronger, and receive the marker better. Okay, so I will start with drawing freehand neurographic lines. Again, I'm thinking about my intention. I would like to create a new course. So remember that your focus is on your hand. I have a very strong habit of drawing these lines. Also, if you want to try, you can do this with your left hand, which is probably better because our left hand relates to our right brain hemisphere, and the right hemisphere is responsible for our creativity, art, everything that's not logical. So if you're right-handed or left-handed, please try to use your non-dominant hand. As drawing these lines, and what typically why this art is so successful and many people like it, because by drawing this line, you may feel a feeling of relaxation, a state of calmness. Okay, so this is enough for now. Like a few lines. And you can create, if you look like some of them like forms almost like a circle. So you can include circle somewhere where you can see a line forming like a loop that forms a circle. They don't have to be perfect. But if you maybe like egg shape, ovals, and round, different size, and they can overlap. And I think maybe I'm just using my intuition where I select, and this one. So what we're doing next is we round the corners of where two lines or more lines cross. You add this. This may take a while, depending how many lines you have. But on the other hand, this particular step affects us probably more than any others. It's like sense of calmness, peacefulness. I also see that some YouTube videos show a really large connection, grounding, exaggerated. No, you don't need to do. So your rounding element needs to be about the size relative to your line, nicely proportioned. I can feel the effect of it right away. So, and there's any classes like this, what could be, what happens, I maybe get relaxed so much that I forget speaking and explaining. Okay, so I think most of my corners are rounded. At the beginning, you may miss, you will not be able to see all of them. But if we start coloring, and I will introduce the idea of coloring as well as we use it in NeuroGraphica. So, and if when we finish rounding, we can also start applying colors. Color, you can use your intuition and just close your eyes. You don't know what color to use. You close your eyes, take a pencil and apply it. If not, if you would like to try it, like, I can suggest the system that we're using in NeuroGraphica. We're using the ancient philosophy of the five element theory, which explains that there are 5 elements that make up our universe. And they even create a circle there. Wood, fire, earth, metal. Metal is always like silver color or light brown. So I'll just, or white. So I will just leave the paper as white metal, and water. This theory is, you can, if you're interested, if you know it, available online. This is not about NeuroGraphica, it's more about ancient philosophy, Chinese philosophy, and Feng Shui is based on it as well. So what it says, and it's not only the existence of these elements, but also connection of them, as they influence each other. If you can imagine that if the colors affect each other, elements, or rather qualities affect each other. For example, wood supports fire. When fire burns, it turns into ashes and becomes earth. When earth gets compressed after years of years, millions of years, and becomes metal. And metal, it can be carry water, or could also condense, like moisture condenses, it appears like water. And again, circle continues, and water supports the nourished wood and all this. But there is also connection between them that's counterproductive. So if you will go on the opposite circle, that will be too much fire will deplete wood, too much metal will suppress water, and that's in this direction. And also affects in the suppression and the counterbalancing. So that's what we use. But let's use the idea of something supporting each other. So it's easy maybe to remember. So, and I decide that something, when I look at these two qualities, and I think, okay, I would like to use wood element, green. Green is about spring, being young, about renewal and creativity, impulse. So all this I need, especially creativity and new ideas for my to create a course. So also why we use pencils and NeuroGraphica and connection. So we reinforce connection between different thoughts. So if every line, as I explained at the beginning, represents a thought, even if we are not aware of it in our analytical mind, but they still exist, something created this impulse that moved our hand in that direction. We do not know, but this going back and forth with your hand, again, reinforces connection between different systems. And when we color, we also apply color at least two cells which are next to each other. So this element is called integration, connecting, unifying the drawing. First it was broken by our lines, and now we can connect it with colors. And in our perception, colors, visual elements, colors play tremendous role in our perception. So, and again, so this one, I would like it water. I'll probably use element to support wood. Now, this is my particular drawing and coloring style. I often I layer colors and I overlap them. So that's what I need. But also I would like to include the quality of interest and passion. Passion and love, like not so much passion, and that's associated with a fire element. So that's why we use this system to affect our perception more. So, and a color like this, lilac, purple. It's more like connection. It's between, you see, water and fire do not mix. But at the same time, when you create this purple color, we connect them. It's like warming up water. It's water by nature, even if it's deep and associated with wisdom. But on the other hand, it's also cold, element of coldness. So maybe in this, if you winter cold time, we would like to have more colors, not warm colors. This will take a while to finish this drawing, so you can take your time after our class, our introduction, and that's the main element. And to make this picture complete, I will make one circle because I'm more attracted to it, like the main circle. As if I believe it contains my solution. So I just outline it and make it like a focal point. And then I can focus on it more. If I find it more important, I can just work on colors and make it visually more stand out more, like visually, if I read it like 3D effect. So, and to finish this drawing, well, NeuroGraphic, you will not see it in NeuroGraphic Art, but so if you know, and if you hear, if you would like something extra, you can include the field lines. The field lines are the lines that represent our, like we align our efforts with the universe. They like nourishment, they make them stronger. So how we decide to add them, it's like I will use my intuition. And some of the lines, you're welcome to do that, repeat with me, or you can live without it. So I decided this line support this drawing, and probably one more. Or maybe two. And again, if your line formed sharp corners, and around. Now, and this element becomes like the main. For some reason, I'm attracted to it. This calls in we call it resolution or solution in our drawing. And in relation to our theme, topic, or intention. If I became attracted, it means that intuitively, I know that something there, something the answer to my question, maybe my strength is here. I don't know what it is, but it's something in my mind, in my subconscious mind, something that I created new connections. And the future we'll see in the future how it will be materialized. So this basically completes NeuroGraphic, very simple, one of the most simple NeuroGraphic drawings, NeuroGraphic art. And what's left, I'll probably work more on colors to make it to the stage when I really feel good about it. And that's a criteria about drawing NeuroGraphica. NeuroGraphic art, it's for yourself. You're welcome, of course, to share, to create it as artwork, but it's all for yourself. And the main criteria that you need to enjoy your drawing. If you're drawing your new reality, your new ideas, that's please, you're welcome to complete as much as you need to feel that the drawing completes you. And before we finish, I also would like to share some of my sketchbooks and some of my thinking process when I use NeuroGraphica. What this idea, what could be done? Like, for example, this one is a greeting card, and it was for Hanukkah, and the word here is or light. It's in this flame. So it's all it done is NeuroGraphic lines. Okay, some other like early sketchbooks that I used for studies, for thinking, different mandalas. I used it. It was a marathon. I drew like a flower of life. And different. Some of them unfinished. Some of them also I have notes. Various different stages of completion and thinking. Something that I also used, that was my journal. It was again a gratitude marathon that I organized in my group. So even so how I used the line, but also metal leaf. So, that's probably like this. And this is like tree of life with the different variations as a seed of life. flower of life coming with a spiral. So this is yin and yang sign. And second, there's two separate drawings. This is a composition. That's probably the best way to see like this. It's like from one to another, a flow. And the most recent one, of course, is my, I'm drawing every day. Again, we have a challenge in our group. And I use it as a notebook, but also as drawings. Various drawings on a theme. That's NeuroGraphica, and it's applied. They're more complex, and I use a variation of techniques. So recently, I had this open class with NeuroAngel, so spiral. Then I went into mandalas, and that's today. And that was recent in relation to my project. And the one I'm working, as I said, a NeuroCircle, the group I'm organizing. And when I've started drawing it, and I really liked it because it's something inspires me in this idea of NeuroCircle, of the group, that supportive community. Okay, so that will probably finish our class.
That was amazing. Thank you, Alina. That was so much fun. I just wanted to take a second and show you what I created.
Aha. It's very good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, the good lines.
Yep, it was very relaxing, like you said.
Yes.
I'd like to invite everyone, if you would like, to share your creations in the Sketchbook Revival Facebook group, so Alina and I can see how it went for you. If you so choose, this is for yourself, but if you would like to show us, that would be great. And to conclude, Karen likes to ask all artists to leave us with a final tip. So Alina, do you have a final tip for us?
Yes. So regarding the Facebook, I joined your Facebook group, so I can post my finished drawing there. And if anybody is interested, I may ask me questions. So I will post my drawing in your group. And also the final one. And the most important when you're drawing NeuroGraphica, I mentioned that's meditative art, intentional art. It's where your mind is, it's where your focus is, where your attention, where your eyes. So if you follow the line and you focus on it, your mind is there, your attention is there, your energy is there. That's the most important. It's like I'm sure that everyone is familiar with meditation, with mindfulness technique. That's where you want to be. It's a mindfulness practice. And if you would like to accomplish something using the method of NeuroGraphica or even NeuroGraphic Art, please pay attention to your drawing. And also another suggestion, if you would like to relax and use it for like therapeutic, healing, harmonizing, be that your project or relationship, please use NeuroGraphic Art. And when you do that, you may do it in silence or light, like meditative music, but do not listen to news or audiobooks.
That's great. Yeah, thank you so much. And to finally, to keep us going with this inspiration, Alina, you have taught us so many things. And I really love the very meditative aspect of it all, and the being in the now and being present. So that's really great. But to keep our inspiration going, Alina has a fabulous free gift for everyone. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Alina?
Oh, the free gift, it's exactly what we're talking. I used it for meditation. It's mostly silent, drawing lines and finding. And it's about 30-minute video. It's about trust. My theme was trusting, and I have a short story and drawing technique.
Okay, that sounds wonderful, Alina. That gift will be linked in the session underneath this session. So
yeah, yes. And also you can find me on YouTube. I have many free videos.
That's great, Alina. Thank you so much. Well, that concludes our session. Thank you again, Alina. It was so much fun. And I hope you all just remember to be in the now, to be present. And I can assure you, as I was working, it was calming me down. It was so relaxing, Alina. Thank you again. All right. So that is it for us. We hope to see you again in the next session. Keep creating and bye for now.